Hey guys, welcome to Hot Mess Sunday at Sabrina's Craft-nanigans. I have got some perfect little kitty Halloween decor for you. Some goodies, newies, oldies. Yes, DIY number one. A lot of these things that I have done are inspired by Pinterest. You may have seen them. I had these pumpkins in my stash. Got a couple bigger ones, got a couple smaller ones. We're going to paint our two bigger ones with the ink, and we're going to paint the two smaller ones with what's called Everlasting. Got it at the Pop Shelf, Dollar General, and Abracadabra Poof. So there we go. There's our two black ones. I gave them 2 coats, and the white one I gave 2 coats. I've got some wooden biscuits here. I'm going to use my miter shears. Just cut them right down through the middle. Kaboop. Just like that. I also do it to the other little biscuit over there, but I'm only showing you one. You don't need to see both. You get the gist. I'm going to file this little baby down a little bit. Make sure it is nice and smooth like butter. There we go. Okay. And now I'm going to make sure that those 2 little pieces of biscuit are the ink. And then those 2 little pieces of biscuit will be the white Everlasting that matches our other pumpkins. So here we go. I gave all the pumpkins another coat, a 3rd coat of paint with my pouncer brush, just to think it would give it some texture like a kitty. Because, yeah, we're making kitties. Of course we're making kitties. And I'm making a Beelzebub and a Moosey Man. That's right. This black one's going to be the Moosey Man. And anyway, with the dauber pouncer to give it some texture like fur. Yeah, it didn't work. It still dried pretty flat. Anyway, I'm using hot glue. These are all foam pumpkins, but they're not going to get too roughed around, and if they do and fall apart, it is what it is. You'll see later Moose is trying to attack, and so is Bees, so they're probably going to get eaten and tore up. Anyway, using my little glue pen there to hot glue the little biscuit ears on. And there we go. We're already off and starting to look like a kitty. Did the same thing to the white one. I know the head looks kind of big compared to the skinny body, but it's the pumpkins that I had that worked the best. So, Okay, we're going to take some white, that Everlasting, some ink, and I think that was like a gray fox color or something from Apple Barrel. It was a gray color from Apple Barrel. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take some black, and I at first mixed some gray in thinking that would lighten it up, and no, of course that didn't. So we're going to add some white. I know nothing about colors, y'all. I need a color chart. Anyway, so once I mixed some white with it, about 2 globs, that worked a little better, but I did still keep the gray in it, and I didn't totally mix it. I kept it kind of swirly, because you're going to see here, we're painting bees right now. And I will give you a picture here in just a second, okay? And Bees is more, not totally black like Moose is, because they are brothers from the same litter. They were only the only 2 in their litter. But Bees has more of a gray tint to him than Moose does. Moose has more of the black. So what we're painting right now is Beezy's little face. So we know Beezy is mostly white. He's got the point. There's my Beelzebub right there. There he is. So this is who I'm trying to recreate, is little Beelzebub, all right? And I don't show you the whole thing. You'll get to see it later in the final reveals. Now we're going to paint the Moosey Man. Now we all know what our Moosey Man looks like. Yep. So I'm going to make his little white on his nose there. And then I'm going to get to the white kind of on his chest, his little manly, hairy little white chest. So we're going to kind of just give you the rundown of that. I do a lot of extra touching up on this because there was too much white or too much black. And so there was a lot of touching up. This project actually took me quite a long while because I am so perfectionist. And see, I got the back there because Bees has gray down his back anyway. So there they are. They're done, ready to go. Okay, now I've got some black felt. We got to make some tails. Now, these things I used last year in the Imagination Challenge. We had to use some like floral wire or something. And we had to, I needed to make a snowman. Look, Gracie Lou mad because I didn't make one of her. So she's going to sit there and watch and get mad and leave. Anyway, what those things are is like some floral wire, some aluminum foil, and then some fabric and hot glue all wrapped and intertwined because I needed to make some snowman arms. Well, I made them like really too long, and so these were pieces that were left over from a Christmas project from last year. He was my little snowman I made out of the stackable pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and he had his bucket of snowballs that were tumbling over and falling out. And we also had to use the cat pooper scooper to do that. And so the pooper scooper held up the bucket of snowballs. Yeah, I might, if I remember, link that down in my description box if you want to go ahead and get started for Christmas. Anyway, so then I just wrapped it up in some black felt. Easy peasy, no big deal. Now what I'm doing, I'm not pushing any hot glue in there. I'm just taking the end of my glue gun, because remember, these are foam pumpkins. So I am just melting a hole in his booty back there. It looked kind of wrong in a little bit. And anyway, and I got me a hole built back there, and I've made it big enough, but I did trim down the end of that tail part a little bit, because it needed to be a little thinner, because this stuff was thick. Let me tell you, it was thick. Thick like the moose. Okay, so we got it in there, and I shove it in as good as I can, and then I do take a little hot glue, put it around the edge, and it is bendable because it's got a real big, bendable, thick floral wire in it. That's how it's bending like that. And then the reason it had all that brown fabric on the outside was because it was snowman arms, so they were supposed to be sticks. But hey, got some felt on it. Now they're kitty tails. So now we got our kitty tails done. I did it to bees as well. Now we got to have a little bit of whiskers here. So I am going to use this black. This is all floral wire, all from Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby Michaels. This black came from Dollar Tree. The silver might have came from Dollar Tree, but I'm not completely sure. Anywho, I'm going to use the black for the Beezy Bub, and I'm going to use the white for the Moosey Moose, because that's pretty much how they are, I think. I know Moose has the white whiskers. They really stand out on his black fur. And I think Beezy kind of has just a combination of all of them. But no, Beezy has white whiskers too. He's just walking by me right now. Oh, well, that's okay. We can be different. I put 3 on each side, and remember, being foam pumpkins, I'm just poking these suckers in. I didn't use any hot glue because I didn't want to use too much and melt it. Like I said, these are probably going to end up falling apart. This is just the whole make a kitty out of pumpkin thing. You can find so many on Pinterest. There's other crafters that do them. So this is just, I took that inspiration and I went from there. And instead of just painting them all black, like most people do, I made them to look like my Beezy and my Moosey. And see, here's Moosey checking it out. He's like, hey, Ma, what you doing there? Hey, what's going on? Yeah, he really gets to busting in there in a second. Yeah, okay, see? Okay, so now we're going to take the Moosey, and I use the silver, and there they go. They got their whiskers. Moosey's really checking it out like, what's going on? Here, have a little bit of my booty, everybody. Enter the Moose Man. Here we go. Now, I thought this ribbon, because if you've seen them on Pinterest or another crafter do them, they take the ribbon and wrap it around where the 2 pumpkins join at the neck, because that kind of covers up any glue and any yuck. Well, I thought this orange ribbon was like a thick glitter orange ribbon. It's not. It's like a cobweb meshy ribbon. And it's really thin, and I wasn't happy about that. But it's really kind of all I had to make it look different than just the black and the white. I wanted a little orange to make it Halloween-y, but so I get it on there. It's not the best. I'm not thrilled with it, but it's okay. And yeah, I was having issues cutting things, and but yeah. See, it's so thin, it got inside and wrinkled, didn't cover it up good. Anyway, went ahead and put it on both the guys. I got this package of bat rings. Usually there's only the spider rings, but I like the bats. I like bats better than spiders. And I'm going to cut the little ring part off that goes on your finger. And I'm just going to hot glue that right in the front there, like they got something on their little collar there, like their little name tag. Moose is all into business. He's like, look at me. Who's that handsome pumpkin kitty? Oh, he's so handsome, mama. Look, I'm trying to show him off. Look at there. You guys like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because look at them gorgeous gentlemen. Oh, look at such a ham. Look, but I don't think Bees is very approving. Anyway, that's about as long as I could get them to sit. Here's DIY number 2. This is not really my favorite, but you get an idea. So I got that little Hello Fall plaque for $1 at Dollar General. You guys got to do. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. You guys are watching this at 6 o'clock at night. I just did this what, 12 plus 6, 18 hours ago. when you're watching this. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock Sunday morning. Anyway, no, you can see I got that at Dollar General. The window clings came from Dollar Tree, but they had the kitties, and we were going to use the one with the moon. Now, I popped off that Hello Fall part because it was 2 separate pieces. Now, this bottom piece that I'm sanding down and smoothing all out, that's regular old MDF. But the Hello Fall piece that was on top was actual wood. It was a real, very thin piece of wood, but it was a piece of wood. So I was like in shock, and it did not want to come off. Dollar General does not want their stuff coming off. Let me tell you, it took me a good 10 minutes to pry that off without tearing it up. Okay, so I've got some blue, nautical blue from Home Decor, I think it is. It's a folk art paint. And some gray. I mixed those 2 colors together to paint around here. And the reason I use that color is because I'm hoping that that blue mixed with a little bit of the gray would give me the blue that's in the kitty on the window decal. That's what I was going for here. So I'm just giving her, I give her the little round here about 2 coats. I do my whole smear, wipe, let it dry, and then I do my pounce. Okay, now, you saw the clear glue come out again. Yeah, we're going to try to crackle again and again and again and again. So here is try number 1. So I'm just putting the clear glue right on my paintbrush, and I am smearing on a nice thin layer. I just let it dry for a second, hit it with the gun for a second, but not too long. Didn't want it to get too dry. I'm going to use plaster to go over the top of that. Got me a big old brush so I don't have to put as many strokes. I am not putting a lot of paint on my brush. I am going one direction, as you can see. There's a couple little spots that may not have come out too great. I go just kind of barely glance back over it again. So you can see I'm being real light. I didn't use a lot of glue. I didn't use a lot of paint. I'm kind of touching up, which, yeah, I know. I probably, see, I'm like, stop. No, stop. Okay. I'm going to take my wipey here, wipe off the edges, trying to keep it all clean, because I did paint the backside blue as well, so it's all nice and pretty. Here we go with the heat gun. I'm a-going. And I went, and that's like the only cracks I got was that right there. Yeah. Nothing else cracked. That side is the only side that cracked. So now you think that side was about try number 3. This is about try number 4 coming right here. I'm going back to my old Elmer school glue. Y'all lucky. I spared y'all today of watching all 4 attempts to try to crackle. Yeah, I just gave you the first one that failed, and then just told you I failed 3 more times, and now we're doing it a 4th time. I got out my regular old white Elmer school glue, and I am just brushing that on, and I'm going in the same direction, back and forth, up and down, up to top to bottom. I rinsed it out real quick, got my plaster. I didn't hit it with a heat gun. I didn't let it dry, nothing. I went straight to my plaster. I'm going one direction, maybe swipe back over it gently, but not too much. I'm doing not a lot of paint again, and I didn't use a lot of glue again. And then I'm just, again, trying to just touch up just a little bit here and there, but I'm being gentle. And I thought I saw Kathy Jo one time just kind of do that splotchy kind of stuff, and it actually made better cracks. Okay, so now you can see I brought out the big guns, literally, the big guns. The big guns just came out. Y'all, oh my gosh. It's happening. Oh my God. It's happening. Oh, this isn't exactly what I wanted, but you know what? It's gonna work. Look at that. Oh, we got some cracks. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we got it. Now, I thought the crackle thing would be cool with the blue behind it because the little kitty's on a moon, and I know you can still kind of see through it a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to use our matte Mod Podge here because, you know, I'm not all about the shiny and the glittery, even though she got some glitter on her, but she's a kitty, so we accept the glitter with the kitty, right? So I gave that a coat of Mod Podge. I got there on there. I fiddled with this for a little while, but I didn't put you through that misery either. And I got her on as straight as I wanted her, and then I just used like my little Cricut thing for vinyl here to make sure the bubbles were out, and she was out pretty smooth. It was kind of hard with that broomstick over to the side and her little hat. But anyway, once I got the bubbles out and she was smooth, I gave her another coat of the matte Meow-O-Ween. And then I also made sure that I sealed the edges as well. And good to go. We're going to let her dry. Well, while she's drying, these are some little wooden laser cut pieces from Dollar Tree that you can get in a little pack. Like, probably I got them like a year or two ago. And I got my maze there. The maze pretty much matches with the broom and her little headband. And I thought it would also make the color pop. And I'm thinking like the blues and the yellows, like moon kind of colors, celestial colors, that kind of thing. So I'm going to use my maze here and paint it. And I probably gave them like 2 or 3 coats. And then, you know, I tried to be neat and put it on a paper towel. And then, you know, okay. All right. So now we're going to use some wood glue. And I'm just going to put a couple little dots here, there, and the bigger spots. Because these are really thin. And they're very fragile too. No, I did not break one. I'm so proud of myself. You all should be so proud. Anywho, I'm going to take that hello, and I'm going to put it right there because I knew we needed to have something right there. Hello, and then the other one says friend. Hello, friend. Then she's such a sweet little kitty. She's got a smile. She's so cute. I touched it up. I made sure all the extra clumps of glue were out, and then I touched her up a little bit more with yellow. Now, I got that big package. They're just wooden rings. They're not crochet rings or embroidery hoops, nothing like that. They're literally just wooden hoops. I found one almost the exact same size as that round. So I'm going to paint it with that same blue-gray mixture that I had. Inside, outside, the edges, backs, and fronts. Dry it. I think I gave it 2 coats. Once that was all good and dry, I'm setting it on there because I thought it needed something. Because this is just, I'm making a small sign. But it just always seemed like once thought I was finished, it was missing something. So that's why after I put the decal on, I put the Hello Friends on. And then once the Hello Friends were on, I thought I need something else. So that's why we're going with the hoop right now. I put a little bit of wood glue and smeared it. And then where there's not wood glue, I just took my hot glue pen here. And just to give it that instant hold, I'm trying to pull it because it's a little bit shorter than the diameter of the round. And instead of here sitting there holding it, I realized, hey, silly, you got those clamps from the Dollar Trees that I bought a while back. So I'm clamping this sucker down to make sure that she sticks real good. Now, no, this did not come out perfect. I did the next day, took my glue pen and added some extra glue around the edge. And because of that, it was kind of clumpy, kind of yucky, wasn't perfect. And so now I'm thinking, now we got to cover that up. So I have this Rick Rack, but it is from Recollections, which I believe is a Michaels brand, for scrapbooking, and it's like sticky. So it's like sticky ribbon. It's like tape kind of stuff. But it's Rick Rack, it's white, and it was glittery. So it kind of went along with the whole, you know, the glitter and the decal. So I went around with that. And that was a little bit wider than the wood round, but that was okay. It's going to be all right. And I did have enough. I was so happy about that. So we're going to make sure and smush that on. Well, then once that was on and I covered up the clumps of hot glue and made that all smoothed out. Look, see, even have the black blue again. I made it all pretty. I thought, okay, let's go ahead and let me get my little hook back on because I ended up taking that off. I knocked out about 10 minutes of your time here, people, not making you suffer through me trying to get that little screw back in that little hook. Yeah, anyway, and I put it down low enough that when you hook it, you won't see the hook hanging out from the top. Okay, so we got the hook back in, and I'm like, it's still missing something. I just, you know, I can't stop. Okay, so we're busting out the jute. We're going to put a little jute bow on top. I'm just going to make a finger bow with 4 loops. So, yeah, first I go one way, and then I'm like, no, we're just going to roll this sucker around. Make sure I got my loops long enough. And we're going to go around 4 times, and then I'm going to cut me a long enough piece to make sure that I can go down and around and loop back through. So go under all of those. I'm between my 2 fingers there. come back over, loop it under the loop you made, pull, 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 and then yank it off my fingers, fluff it for 30 minutes, but I spare you that as well. We're going to trim up the little danglies. 3 o'clock. What are they called, guys? I don't know. Tails? Yeah. And then we're going to glue that on the top up there. And I'm thinking, okay, this is getting a little better because the jute, you know, the broom, the jute, okay, got to have that little rustic touch to it, you know me, okay. And so I'm fluffing the bow, and I'm thinking, now there's still something missing. Because when you have a bow, something's got to go in the middle. Oh, here, we going to play a fire first. This made me feel better. I did this for about 5 minutes. Anyway, so I found this scatter stuff, the styrofoam ball scatter. I found a yellow one to match the yellow of the moon and stuck that in the middle. And this is where it ended, folks. Just right there. That's what you got. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Wasn't thrilled with that one. It's still missing a lot. Okay. This DIY number 3, this is an old one. It's found in a crafter stash. It's my I'm a Haunt Mess pumpkin. I just had to throw this in there. So I did slow it down a little bit, but since the original was sped up really fast, it didn't work out good to slow it down. And yeah, so it still goes fast. But anyway, you kind of get the gist. I will link my description. Of course, it goes even faster in the other video. So you're probably better off to watch it right here. I got that pumpkin at the Dollar Tree like 2 years ago. And this video I did last Halloween. This is a year old now. But I wanted you to see this because this just fits me perfect. And it's got a kitty on it, so, you know. But I got all the paper off the pumpkin, painted it in plaster. Now I'm distressing it with the pumpkin orange. Used the fan brush at first because this when I was first learning about the fan brush to distress your edges. And it worked good, but I wanted more of that orange pop to it. And then I had too much orange when I went to just a regular, like, stenciling brush. So then I got my plaster back out and did some more, and then I had too much plaster, and then I went back to the pumpkin and did that some more, and I finally get it where I want it. And I painted a little black kitty there from the Dollar Tree in the little packages. I'm going to paint some little ribs there on the pumpkin, so he's looking pretty good. All right, I've got my little kitty there ready to glue on. I trace it a little bit so I know where to put the glue. I just use hot glue here, and you know what? This is still holding up, guys. Hit that height. Hit that height. Ooh, ooh. Hit that height button, guys. You can't do it from your TV. You got to get on your phone to hit the height. But if you go down to comments and swipe it over to the side, it'll get you to height, and you use your height points, and that bust out our little channels. I'd appreciate it so much if y'all do that. So here we go. I use that I'm a Haunt Mess. I just found that on Cricut Design Space. Stuck that puppy on there. Got some wiggly eyes. Did not realize the wiggly eyes were 2 different sizes until I glued them on the cat. And you know what? We left it. Because I thought it fit pretty perfect. Now we're making some whiskers. I got a little pink bumpkin button, and I took that metal wire, kind of like what we did with bees and moose earlier for their whiskers, and I kind of just weaved it in the holes of the button. And so we got about 4 whiskers on each side, and then I'm trimming them up, and then I make them really wonky and bend them all over the place so that he looks like he's been fried. I mean, he already looks like he's kind of fried, but now he really looks fried. You'll see it better in just a second when the picture slows down. Yep, you see all the cats coming in here. Anyway, so I glued that down, and yep, another nice cat butt. Aren't they lovely? They're so nice. There's the moose. The little black cat you saw go by earlier that didn't look as fuzzy as Moose, that was Gomez. That's my cousin Tim's cat, and when he goes on vacation, I get to watch him. He's my little go-go. He's so funny. Anyway, so here we go again with I need to add more stuff. So I added some ribbon from some Dollar Tree there, which reminds me, where is that ribbon? I could have used that ribbon on making the boys earlier. I couldn't find that ribbon. Maybe I used it up. Oh, I probably did because I made my gnome witch out of pumpkins and used a lot of it. But there it is. I'm a haunt mess. I just had to show you guys that. I know it went really fast. Couldn't help myself. Last one, guys. Here is another Pinterest inspired, and you see people doing them on the craft channel, so everybody gets credit for it. I don't know the original creator, but I put my own different twist. I do not have any big power saws or anything. So this is a thing where people take the 2x4s or whatever, the 1x2s, and then they cut the 2 angle chunks out and they make the kitty cats like that. But I don't have any big machinery like that. And I couldn't take a wide piece of wood and use my miter saw to cut like that either, at least not that I know of. So I thought, but if I take 2 small pieces and cut at a 45-degree angle and then flip them and glue the 2 pieces together, I got it. All right, so that's what I did. For my smaller little tiny Jenga blocks, I used my miter shears. For the bigger Jenga tower blocks, I had to use my miter saw box. But anyway, and then I sanded it all down, smoothed them all out. I am using hot glue here to put them together. Don't do this. That's what I was showing you a little while ago. Use your Titebond or your wood glue, because the hot glue is not going to hold very long. But due to time constraints, like I said, I just finished this earlier. It is now 3 o'clock in the morning trying to edit this business, and my phone is giving me the whole storage full again thing. I've really got to get me some good equipment, guys. Anywho, so since I have to put the 2 pieces together and it's not one big chunk, you guys can take some DAP, plaster fill, whatever, and fill in that middle section. I did it a little bit, but I think I pretty much wiped it all off because we ain't got time for that. Some of it settled in there, but yeah, you know, we had to go. Wasn't worried too much. But that is something you can do. I've got my ink by Waverly here, and I've got one of these little foam brushes, and that worked really good to get in the points between the ears right there. And I'm going to paint the sides, the tops, the bottom, and I do paint both sides of it. But I'm just going to show you the front, getting around all the sides right now. So see, and I'm going to do that to all 5 of those little guys. See, there we go. Now here's an idea. So these were the small tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. It would be better to do 4 of them and then like make the 2, but then glue those 2 together with, of course, your wood glue or your Titebond. And then, because then it about matches the width of the bigger tumbling tower blocks. So, and then they'll stand up a little bit better and be more sturdy. They're really thin, those little small tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. So it would be a lot better to stick them together, use 4 of them, and make a chunkier one. But we're just going with 2. I'll show you what I do to fix it. Right now, we are distressing because, no, we can't go without distressing. So I kind of showed you the difference there. I just took my sander. I just did the front. I didn't do the back. If I get to it one day, the backs may get done. I have this jute twine that is orange, black, and white. That came from Dollar Tree a long time ago when they gave you a decent amount of twine on your spool. And I'm just going to use my glue pen. And we're going to glue a little bit back there in the back to get it started. We're starting on the back. And then I'm going to loop the little ones twice. And then once we get to the back, I'm going to cut it off, leaving me extra so I can hang on to it. Gonna pull some of the hot glue off there. Yep, Hot Mess Express, Hot Glue Express. And then we're going to tack that down. I finally get smart and get my little silicone makeup spatula there. We'll cut that end off. And there we go. He's got a little collar now. He's ready to go. Now I'll show you a bigger one. But we're going to do the same process. We're going to flip it over to the back, put the glue on, get our twine started. They're going to get smart. By the time I got to the last one, I was getting fast at this. Now for the bigger one, I wrapped it around 3 times. Now a lot of the inspiration pictures I've seen and other people I've seen do use like raffia and tie it around their neck, and then it kind of sprays out and it kind of makes it look more like whiskers. But I just took the twine because, yeah, you know. So there's all 5 of our little dudes. Now, since our 2 little small dudes are pretty skinny, what I'm going to do, since, you know, because I didn't want to glue those 2 together because then I'd only have the one small one, and I didn't have time to make another one and cut more. I'm going to glue one of the small ones to the side of one of the big ones. They could just be mommy, baby, mommy, daddy. Daddy, baby, attach them. And then I've got the third one there. That's the little Lone Ranger there. So there's our little family of kitties, right? Yeah. Okay, now, what are we missing? We're missing eyeballs. You know I was going to go with wiggly eyes. And I also made some just little tiny bows to put on their little collars. We got green eyes, yellow eyes, and blue eyes for our little oddball there. So there we go, our little cat family. And a miniature, you know me and my miniatures. So there's you a miniature version. If you don't have big power tools and all that, like I don't, use small pieces, glue the pieces together, boom, you got it. Okay, guys, this is it. Here's the final reveal. Here is my Beelzebub. Look at that. Oh, and here comes the Moose. Look. Oh, their tails came out. I was surprised. So good. Tried to do their ears because Moose has black in the back but white in the front, and Bees has kind of the same thing. So I was trying to make their little sprays of white furry. Here's my little sign I'm still not too happy with. You guys let me know down in comments what could I do different. Should I add it to another wood round? Maybe to make it bigger, put some florals. This is my all-time favorite. I made this last year. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sirs. I am a hot mess, let me tell you. And our little kitty family. Look at this. I want to know what was your favorite one down at the bottom. I'm thinking, I really liked how Bees and Moose turned out, but I'm really liking my little kitties there. Yup. I sure am. Guys, hit that hype button. Get us out there. Details on that giveaway coming soon. I now have a Buy Me a Coffee link. Scan that QR code. I also have it in my description box. Do it for these guys. The Moose, the Bees, the Gracie Lou. You know they're always in there helping me. Hit that thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share out with your friends. Hit that notification bell. Details to giveaway will be coming soon. Look for our Amazon cards, some crafty loot, and a special made by me. I love you.